Today's episode is brought to you by Patients Getting Paid, the new course in development by FUMS. I was diagnosed with MS 10 years ago and had to give up my job. My paycheck stopped, but my bills didn't. I needed to find employment that worked with my schedule when I was mentally clear and rested, and that worked around doctor's appointments and hospital infusions. I went looking for a solution, and I actually found several. There are companies looking for our experience as chronic illness patients, and they're willing to pay us to share it with them. There are legitimate work-from-home opportunities out there too, and even recruiters specific to matching us with those legit opportunities. And there are a multitude of opportunities to have our own online businesses. If any of this resonates with you, sign up for the email list and be the first to get more information when the course launches. Sign up now at fumsnow.com/patientsgettingpaid. Welcome to the FUMS Now podcast show, where you'll gain information, inspiration, and motivation for living your best life with multiple sclerosis. Find us online at fumsnow.com. I'm your host, Kathy Reagan Young. Hey everybody, I'm super excited about today's interview. That sounded like Oprah. I'm in the middle of putting together the Patients Getting Paid course to identify ways that people in our chronic conditions community can find legit, hear me, legit, like too legit to quit, shout out to MC Hammer, flexible, as in work from home, jobs. And today I'm talking with Brie Reynolds, Senior Career Specialist at FlexJobs, the leading online service for professionals seeking remote, flexible schedule, part-time, and freelance jobs. With a master's degree in human resources and a background in career advising, Brie has been working with job seekers and employers since 2004, and she offers career, hiring, and work-life balance advice through the FlexJobs blog and media outlets like Fast Company, Forbes, The Today Show Online, and NBC News. This is going to be a very interesting and actionable episode. Let's go meet Brie. Hi, Brie. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Hi, Kathy. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's get into it. If you would please talk a bit about FlexJobs and what the company does exactly and what your role is there.
Sure. So FlexJobs is essentially a job search service. It's a lot like a job search website, any sort of website that you might have been on before. But we specialize in a particular subset of jobs. So it's any job with flexibility. So things like telecommuting or remote work, freelance, part-time, or flexible scheduling. Essentially any job that takes someone out of a 9-to-5 in-office role and puts them in a situation where they have more control over when, where, and how they're working. And so they're all professional level jobs, and they're very similar to any sort of job listing that you would see online, except that they have to have some type of flexibility. So we really make it possible for people to find flexible types of jobs that better fit their lives in one place.
So cool.
Oh, yeah. We love what we do.
Yeah, I love what you do. That's so cool. And what is your role there?
So at FlexJobs, I'm the Senior Career Specialist, and I'm a career coach, which essentially means I help people find these jobs. So we have the jobs on the site, but what I do is help people figure out what types of jobs would be good for them, what types of flexibility is, something that would fit their life the best way. In career coaching, I work one-on-one with people to go over their career histories and talk about what they're interested in and what they'd like to do and how to put together a resume for a flexible job or a remote job, all of those kind of details that go into it. And then I also do things like this. I try to advocate for flexible jobs. I try to get the word out to people that these things exist and that they are real, because I think a lot of people are pretty surprised to find out that flexible jobs that are really professional level, high quality jobs do exist, where you don't have to trudge into an office and be there for the standard 40-hour work week.
Right.
So I'm kind of an advocate at the same time.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people think or have run into scams online, work from home and, kind of the catchphrases. And then you go down that rabbit hole and it's a scam. So
yes, there are so many scams.
Yeah, there are. I'm so glad to have identified FlexJobs and you, and I'm just so excited to bring this to this community because boy, do we need it. So
awesome. Me too.
Yeah, right? I think I shared with you, I had to leave my job that I loved, by the way, because of my stupid MS. I was no longer, it just wasn't possible to drive to meetings constantly. And the stress was just too much. My MS no likey. So I needed to dial down my stress level and, be able to lay down when I needed to, or go to doctor's appointments, or get my infusions, whatever, whenever necessary. So I had to leave. Well, my paycheck stopped coming, but my bills didn't, of course. So I had to piece together gigs to replace my income. And I don't know why I wasn't aware of FlexJobs, but I sure wish I had been. It was a pain kind of putting everything together. So you're a one-stop shop. This is pretty cool to have found.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Can the jobs found on FlexJobs be strung together? And by that, I mean, can you apply for and accept more than one job at a time if the applicant feels they have the time and energy for it? Like FlexJobs doesn't limit or restrict the number of positions offered, or does it?
Nope, that's correct. We don't restrict the number of positions offered. Essentially, all of the jobs on our site are offered by different employers, so very similar to the traditional job search in that way. And each employer has their own requirements and their own parameters for how many hours they're looking for someone to work, whether the role is part-time or full-time, if it's remote or in office, if it's freelance or employee. There's all those different parameters for each type of job, and it's all laid out in the listing. So you'll know very clearly exactly what the employer is looking for. And you can also, when you're searching, you can sort by those parameters. So if you're only interested in working from home or having a flexible schedule or some combination of all of that flexibility, you can set those parameters to find what you're looking for. And then as long as you find a few different jobs that don't require you to work at the exact same time or that sort of thing, you can definitely string together as few or as many jobs as you'd like. There's no restrictions on FlexJobs. So for example, some people come to FlexJobs and they find one full-time remote job and they're happy. That's what they like. That's what they're looking for. And then other people come and they look for several different short-term or long-term freelance types of jobs because they want that type of work arrangement. And then some people come and they're not really sure what they're looking for, and they just search around and see what's available in their particular career field, and then they kind of go from there. So it's sort of a build your own career model, I guess, is the way you could say it.
Very cool. So people who want a side hustle, that's there. Or people with a chronic condition who need to string together some gigs, to pay their bills, that's there. It's really amazing. I'm really psyched to have found it, if you can't tell. Are there any positions offered with benefits?
Yes. So those tend to be the full-time employee jobs that are listed on our site. So it's very similar to a regular job. If an employee job offered benefits in the real world, then if you found it on FlexJobs, it would likely offer benefits also. Some part-time jobs offer benefits, but it's not always the norm. So that's something to definitely pay attention to in the job description. Usually employers who offer benefits for part-time roles will shout that from the rooftops because they know that it's a big draw, that it will bring people in and people will want to apply for that type of job. So it's usually pretty obvious in the listing if a part-time job is going to offer that. But really it just hinges on, the number of hours that you're working and whether you're an employee or a freelancer. The freelance roles on our site definitely do not offer benefits just because that's the nature of freelance jobs.
Right. So how would you advise chronically ill folks to handle sharing their situations, or should they? I'm really thinking in terms of sort of giving the employer a heads up in case, for instance, my MS were to kick my ass one day and I needed to go into the hospital or something like that. So should we share right away, or how do you suggest people handle that?
Yeah, this is a really good question because it can be tricky. I mean, on the one hand, you want to be honest and open. And also, if you're looking for a job with flexibility, you're trying to meet your needs. And so you want to be honest about that with the employer. But at the same time, you don't want it to be something that, for better or worse, really, somehow takes you out of the running for that job because of the employer's bias and all of that sort of stuff. So the main thing is, one, you're not required to disclose anything either during the job search or once you've actually gotten the job, as long as it's not going to hinder you from performing the duties of that job. You really don't need to be disclosing it. But of course, you don't want to feel like you're holding something back, or you're not bringing your full self to work, or that you're being misleading. There's a lot of different feelings that go into this about withholding that. What I typically recommend is further along in the process. So it's not that the first thing that you bring up during the first job interview. You really want to focus there on your ability to do the job. You've got the skills, the experience, whatever it is that they're looking for, you have it.
Yeah.
And then once you're further along in the process, especially if you've been offered the job, that's a great time to bring it up. Say, yes, I'm super interested in this job. I can definitely commit to it. And also, I'm really glad for the flexibility because I do have, this thing that I wanted to tell you about. It should not impact my ability to do the job, but I will definitely be more comfortable doing the job because it's remote or it has a flexible schedule or whatever it might be. But I would recommend usually holding off until then. Yeah. Unless, sometimes you might find a job that's actually, I think you were talking about patient advocacy earlier,
right? And,
something that could be an actual asset to the job, your personal experience with it. Then, of course, you want to share it.
Yeah. Shout that from the rooftops.
It's a tricky, yes, exactly.
It is, but I love your idea of sort of getting further and waiting until, the offer has been extended, I think is really smart. And the way
because
verbalize that
they've decided they like you.
Yes.
Yep, exactly.
I liked that. Okay, that's great.
And the other thing is, when you're looking at flex jobs, is to keep in mind that you are making sure you're looking for jobs that really fit your needs and not taking on too much. So I've talked to, a couple people through the career coaching process who have chronic illnesses or they're battling something like that, it really does impact the type of job that they're looking for. And on some days they feel great and they feel like they could conquer the world and they could work a full schedule and they want to go for those types of jobs. And then other jobs, like you said, it feels like their ass has been kicked and they really need to, scale back. And so being just really realistic about what you can handle, not taking on too much. And that's the nice thing about freelance and part-time and that sort of thing. You can start small. And then if you're feeling pretty good, you feel like that part-time schedule is something you can really handle, you could add another part-time job on there or a project.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't, overload you too much.
Yeah. Smart. Great advice. Love it. Are there certain criteria that would make it more advantageous for some to find help on flex jobs, like education, past job experience? And is there anyone that isn't really a candidate for flex jobs?
I think no. I think the second question is easy to answer. No, there's not really anybody who isn't a candidate for flexible jobs. I think when people are looking at their past experience and their education to wonder if something helps them stand out for these types of jobs, one thing that we always say is previous remote or flexible work experience can definitely help. A lot of people don't realize that is an actual asset when you're looking at these types of jobs. If you've ever worked from home before, even casually in a previous job, if you were allowed to work from home a couple times a month, or when you had to bring your kids to their doctor's appointments, or you were waiting for the plumber to come fix your toilet, like any of those experiences, if you can talk about being productive at home, then it's a fine thing to put on your resume. Previous remote work experience, something like that.
Very cool.
Employers really value that. Yeah. So that's one thing that can help you stand out. And it does not have to be that formal, sanctioned, working from home 2 days per week type of arrangement.
Yeah.
It can be one of those
you had to do it and you made it work. Yeah, I love that.
Exactly.
In fact, I just came across, it's funny you're saying that. I just came across this picture of my youngest daughter who's now 15, but she was pretty little and she had the stomach bug. And I have her all set up in the bathroom. And there's my laptop because I was working I was like holding her hair back while she puked and then I'd continue working. So as long as I had an internet connection, I was good to go. So
yeah, I mean, you see that all the time. Moms and dads working from hockey practice and working from, all sorts of random places, but you're getting the job done. So
exactly. Yeah.
It's a great example.
I've been posting from volleyball games lately, so I get that. So that's great.
Oh, I love that. I used to play volleyball.
Oh, really? Oh,
I always love to hear that.
Yeah. Both my girls are into it. So to be clear, FlexJobs is a paid service. There are other services out there that are free. So why should we choose FlexJobs?
Yes, I love this question because a lot of people see that we're a paid service and they instantly go, oh, no, I'm not paying to get a job. Like, that's not cool. And that's not cool. So that's not what we do. So essentially, we're a membership site. We operate on a model that's the complete opposite of most job boards. So most job boards have employers paying to post their jobs, and job seekers can search the jobs for free. And we are the opposite. We actually don't ask employers to pay to post their jobs, which means that we can be really critical about the employers that we choose to have on the site. So every single employer on the site gets pre-screened to make sure that they're legitimate and that they're not one of those scams that we talked about earlier.
Woo-hoo, love me some legit.
Yes, all that stuff gets weeded out in the process. We make sure that their jobs are professional level, that they're high quality. So a lot of screening goes into this. We actually have a whole job research team whose job it is to go out and screen these employers to find the best listings and to get everything all in one place, nice and easy, so that you can just find it and run with it.
Cool.
But as part of the membership, we also give people access to skills testing. So you can actually test your skills. I think there's over 150 different tests, and it's things like software programs and words per minute typing. And if you're in the writing field or editing field, we test your writing and editing skills and things like that. So you can really see where you excel, where you're, better than the average person.
Yeah.
And then also maybe where you might need to improve a little bit. So it's a nice, just a testing area. We have discounts on resume reviews and career coaching and other job search assistance, just lots of really good stuff. And it's all geared towards flexible jobs. So like I was talking about before, having previous experience and putting that on your resume, we point out all of those little things that you should be doing in your job search if you really want to get a flexible job.
Right.
So yeah,
Very
it's a
cool.
really big, nice package of flexible job search assistance.
Yeah. Love it. So I see you offer a money back guarantee. So how does that work? I know that always makes people feel better in any situation.
Yeah, because I used to be a college career counselor, and the one thing we would say to students is never, ever pay to get a job. And that's the thing here is you're not paying to get a job. You're sort of paying for the whole experience.
The package.
And we really hope that it provides value. And so if for any reason you feel like it wasn't of value, you cancel your subscription and you request a refund, and we do it. It's that easy. I am not a salesperson. I don't like to try to sell people into things, but this makes it really easy because, truly you ask for the refund and it's granted. We don't ask questions. We don't try to talk you into, don't you want to try it for a little bit longer and all that kind of stuff. Nope. If you're not happy, we give you your money back. We just want it to be of value. And if it's not, then it's simple. We just give it back.
That too is legit. I like it. I like legit.
Yes, we do too.
Yeah. So walk me through the process. Someone signs up for membership on your site and then what?
Yes. So somebody signs up on the site and then they are greeted with a few different things to get them started. We send out a welcome email. We talk about the top few things that you should be doing with your FlexJobs account to really get it off the ground. You set up your resume profile. And that really it's a history of your work experience and things like that. But it's also you selecting which jobs you're interested in, the type of flexibility that you might be interested in. And then it helps populate this thing that you get every day if you would like to. You don't have to get it, but it's a daily email that sends you job listings that match that criteria. So it makes it really easy to know the newest job listings as soon as they hit the site every single day and they match what you're looking for.
So this is like
those are kind of the basic things.
It's like a match.com for you and a job, right?
I love that. Yes.
And you can swipe right or swipe left. If you're not interested, you don't have to, but if you are, it's right there for you. I love it.
Yep, that's perfect.
And then like you referenced earlier, there are these other opportunities to have your resume reviewed and there's career coaching and all that sort of thing. So if you need some help, it's there as well, right?
Yep, exactly. And we also have a client services team that are real human beings. That's the other thing, too. I feel like when you're dealing with an online service, you never know if there's really people behind it.
Right.
And this one, we do have people. So we have this client services team. If you ever just want to walk through your FlexJobs account and have somebody look at it and say, oh, yes, you're doing this right. Oh, don't forget about this thing. Add this to your resume profile, that kind of stuff. They're there for that. Nice. They're super nice. And then we also offer tons of articles about flexible job searching and how to put things together. And we also offer webinars with employers who are hiring. So you can actually hear from employers that are hiring. You can ask them questions and just kind of get like the ins and outs of what they're looking for so that when you apply, you look like a really good candidate because you know what they're looking for.
You know the deal. Wow. Yep. This is super comprehensive. This is exciting. Also on your site, I loved reading the 50 current most surprising flexible jobs post on the FlexJobs site. Which, by the way, it's flexjobs.com, right? I don't think I've said that yet.
That is right. Yes.
Sorry.
Flexjobs.com.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
So unbelievable, the variety of positions that exist on that board. So I wrote a few down as an example. Okay. Pizza taste tester, a mathematician. Can two things be any more different? A Spanish video host, a conference producer, a technical designer for underwire bras, which I feel like I have a great background for that. And I would just say, take the damn things out. They hurt. Done.
Right.
Okay. I have finished that job. A child psychiatrist, a beer editor, which by the way, there's another one that I would be highly qualified for, a lead government grant writer, a threat hunter, which that worries me. I'm not sure what that is, a content creator, and a voice writer transcriber. I mean, it is amazing. What are some of the strangest, that's not a very nice word, but most unique positions you've ever seen in your time with FlexJobs?
Yeah, so you nailed a few of them there. And I think the pizza taste tester and beer editor would be a great combination job if you were looking to string together some jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've heard of a lot. I think probably one of the most unique, I love how you said that. My mom always used to say, don't say strange, say unique. So that was perfect.
My mom in my head when I said that. Yeah.
One of the ones that has always stuck in my mind is remote neurosurgeon. And I immediately was like, there's no way this job is real.
That is worrisome. That's
so essentially, one of the things to know about remote jobs is that they can be either fully remote or partially remote. And you can set that parameter when you're searching on FlexJobs. You can say, I only want to work from home, or I'd be okay going to the office a couple days a week and working from home the other few days a week. So remote neurosurgeon, yes, they would go to a surgery center to perform the surgeries, but then all of their administrative stuff could be done from home. So they'd be reviewing patient files, they'd be calling patients to update them, all that kind of stuff they were doing from home. So it was a good hybrid situation. Yeah. But that remote neurosurgeon, I just thought, oh my goodness,
yeah,
that's crazy.
That's hilarious.
But then one that I really wanted to apply to was Downton Abbey Expert, because I love that show.
Me too, sister. I love that show. You know, there's a movie coming out next year about it.
Yes, there is. I've seen that.
Wait.
Oh, yes. And yes, you got paid to write about Downton Abbey. And I just thought, what a job. Like, that would be it. I'd be sold.
Gosh, me too.
So, yeah, there's really some really interesting stuff. And then just kind of broaden it out. There are some really normal, basic, average types of jobs too, like customer service and and administrative and teaching and tutoring and all sorts of just very regular types of jobs.
Right.
So
normal.
There's something for everybody, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So cool. So, Brie, this has been so interesting. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. I think a lot of people in the chronic conditions community are going to find great value in our conversation today. Please.
I think so too.
Yeah. Tell everyone how to go about getting signed up and, what social media platforms they can find FlexJobs on. And if you'd like, share your contact info as well. Oh, and you have a special offer, you said, for FUMSers, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So you can go to FlexJobs.com to learn more about the site. There's also a lot of free stuff on the site, I should mention. You can get our entire blog, which is, I think, like 5,000 articles related to flexible job searching. You can research companies on our site for free. We have a database with, I think, over 50,000 companies now that have offered flexible jobs. So it's a really good site to just go around and poke around, even if you decide not to sign up for membership. But if you do, when you're registering, you can use the code FUMS to save 30% on any subscription level. So it's 30% off of our 1 month, our 3 month, or our 1 year subscriptions. And just for reference, the 1 month subscription is $14.95 before the discount. The 3 month subscription is $29.95, again, before the discount. And then the 1 year is $49.95, and that's before the discount also. So you'll get 30% off of any of those if you want it.
Thank you for that, for offering that to our community. Really appreciate that. And again, thank you so much for being here. This has been phenomenal, and I know it's going to help a lot of people. So thanks again, Brie.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And best of luck with your flexible job searches, everybody.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you listening to the FUMS podcast show. Be sure to subscribe to it so you won't miss an episode. You can do that right on the website at FUMSnow.com. While you're there, sign up for the free email list so you'll be among the first to know of any new findings in MS research, new therapies and products, as well as any blog posts and podcast episodes I release. Want to chat with others in the FUMS community? Join us on Facebook at FUMS Now. Thanks again, and don't forget to talk to the stupid disease as it deserves. Tell it FUMS every day.